Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Friday edition of FSU Weather. I am student meteorologist Aaron right here to open up the show on this magnificent Friday evening here across Tallahassee with that beautiful sun, yet to be sunset here over Doak Campbell Stadium with those clouds lingering across the middle of the sky here. Those altocumulus clouds looking really nice outside. Currently 82 degrees under that mostly cloudy skies. It kind of depends on where you're at exactly and where those clouds are oriented at. With those winds out of the just out of 3 miles per hour, probably out of the north or so. So it feels like temperatures across the area are sitting in the upper 70s to low 80s, depending on where you're at exactly. That's because we do have a little bit more moisture in tap today than we had at least for the past couple of days or so, when it's kind of adding a little bit to the humidity or feels like temperature. However, it's not oppressive like we would see in the summertime. So thank you for that. In our local radar here, we are quiet across our radar, very dry. Maybe perhaps a little shower or two at some spots, but overall very, very dry. So tonight's headlines, we expect an unseasonably heat has come, but when will it leave? Texas finally got some rain. When will we get the rain too? And also, what are the latest details on upcoming Halloween and fall festivities?
Thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm student meteorologist Elizabeth Temple. Starting off tonight, we're going to be discussing a lot of things that are going on weather-wise around the country. We have some rain that is going to be impacting the state of Texas and some states west of the Appalachian Mountains, and see how that is going to impact their drought and dry situation. We also have some snow and some winter weather warnings and advisories out for places like in Colorado and in the Rocky Mountains, which we'll discuss as well later. But for right now, we have been sitting pretty nice in locally, but that would be nice if it wasn't fall. So we've been seeing lots of above average high temperatures for the past few days, nearing the mid to upper 80s, but it's been very dry and very pleasant as well. But those conditions are going to start to change as we head into early next week, and so we will talk about that more as we head into the rest of the show. So, Aaron, what is it going to look like heading into this weekend?
That's right. Well, this week we can expect some more sunshine across the area, but first we'll actually take a look across kind of what the Big Bend's looking like at this current hour. Tallahassee sitting at 82 degrees underneath that sun and mixed clouds across the area. Thomasville, Georgia, a little bit more cloudy here, so temperatures a little bit down from into the lower 80s. They're sitting at 79 degrees currently at this hour. St. George Island at 76 degrees with actually perhaps a shower went through earlier, because it just looks like it's some sort of like water on the lens there, but not too sure about that. It'd probably be the only shower across the area, to be honest with you. And then St. Mark's, Florida, also very similar at 77 degrees with the mostly sunny conditions as well. So current temperatures across the area, we are sitting in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. A tad cooler as you get down to Apalachicola along the coast, and then a little bit warmer as you make your way towards I-10. And then maybe a little bit cooler again as you get into Georgia, where it's 79 degrees in Thomasville. But for the most part, we're sitting pretty uniform into the upper 70s to low 80s. Current winds are mostly calm. There might be perhaps a wind out of the north at 3 here in Tallahassee, but it's pretty light and variable, so I wouldn't really count on a direction, so to speak. And now for our dew points, this is the moisture content in the atmosphere, how much the atmosphere can actually hold in terms of water. So we are sitting in the lower 60s across the Big Bend, southwest Georgia into the upper 50s or so. And this indicates a little bit drier air as you make your way to the north, and then over to the south here where we're at in Florida, we're sitting in the 60s, so a little bit more muggier, but not oppressive as we would see in the summertime. Local radar is dry at the moment with perhaps a few little sprinkles dotted across the area, but they're very quick and they basically disintegrate as quick as they form. And future satellite radar does hint at the same thing with those clouds and showers, chances, if any, diminishing until tomorrow afternoon. We might see a little bit more convection going on in terms of cloud coverage, starting with those cumulus clouds in the afternoon. For the most part, staying really high and dry. If you're going to that watch party, perhaps tomorrow afternoon watch the Wake Forest game at noon Eastern time, then it should be nice if you're heading out the door for that. If you're heading out to College Town tonight, we should expect those temperatures actually remaining pretty comfortable in the lower 70s to near 60 degrees or so all night. So if you're staying out pretty late at 3 a.m., it will be in the middle 60s, but maybe perhaps bring a light jacket depending on who you are. If you're hiking on Saturday, at least for the most part, I actually do like hiking myself, but I know a lot of people here like that morning jog perhaps. 62 degrees in the morning here at 8 a.m., 76 by 11, and then going into the middle 80s as we get into your later in the afternoon. Our Sunday dog walking forecast, temperatures remaining really beautifully here. Storm, courtesy of Chandler Pro. There's Chandler's dog there. Actually, it almost looks like a husky here, from at least from this viewpoint. But for the overall, looking really pleasant in the 80s by the time we get into the afternoon. A week ahead, we are sitting for the most part in the middle 80s as we get throughout most of the week until, look at that, Elizabeth, 66 degrees for the high as we get into your next Wednesday.
I am very excited for that. I don't know about you, Aaron, but I do not enjoy the hot temperatures. I hate feeling hot. So I am super excited for that. So across the rest of the state of Florida, we're sitting warmer conditions, 80 in Pensacola, 80 in Jacksonville right now, 86 in Tampa, and 83 in Miami, but generally sunny with a few clouds in the sky, but very nice conditions overall. So the big picture, most of the state in the low to mid 80s right now, 82 in Key West, 81 in West Palm, 81 in Orlando, low upper 70s, excuse me, as we head into the northern part of the state. It is 78 in Jacksonville and 78 in Pensacola right now. And these dew points, pretty muggy, not terribly so, but sitting in the low to mid 60s. We have a dew point of 62 in Tampa, 65 in Orlando right now, 66 in Miami and in West Palm Beach. Very muggy down in Key West, where they're sitting at 73 right now. But we do have drier air up in the upper levels, which is keeping our rain chances lower, but that moisture more closer to the surface is what is keeping those dew points a little bit higher right now. And we do have those clouds that will be starting to head through. But radar looks clear right now, besides a few spotty showers down in the southern tip of Florida. Those are moving west and off into the Gulf right there, so nothing to be concerned about as far as rain goes right now. And for the rest of the weekend, we'll see those clouds move through the area as we head into tomorrow and into Sunday. A few more showers possible, at least in the southern portion of the state by Sunday afternoon. But again, very dry as well, at least for the foreseeable future. And for the rest of the night tonight, heading into tomorrow morning, we will wake up with our temperatures in the low to mid 60s up into the lower 70s for some parts of the area. 71 in Tampa by 7 a.m., 69 in Fort Myers, 63 here in Tallahassee, and 67 in Pensacola. And as we head into Saturday, so for the rest of the day, for Saturday, we'll be seeing our temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Once again, another warm day, 87 in Fort Myers and 84 down in the Keys. A pretty mild night for Sunday as well, and sitting similarly to what we saw for for Saturday morning, which in the mid 60s and the upper 70s, and another hot day for Sunday, or for Monday, excuse me. So Miami for the weekend, it should look dry tomorrow, but by Sunday and Monday we'll see those rain chances. So the rain chances will start to go up, and our highs in the mid 80s for the weekend in Jacksonville too. Warmer in Tampa, 89 for the next few days, and in Pensacola, a bit cooler, highs of 81 and 82 for the next 3 days. So let's zoom out a little bit at the south.
That's right. So we'll take a look at kind of what the overall weather pattern is across the region here, across the southeast. We'll look really giant here on the screen, but behind my shoulder you can see Huntsville. I'll actually step out of the camera view here. 82 degrees. In cloudy conditions. Atlanta, we are sitting high and dry here, at least in terms of cloudiness, at 76 degrees. New Orleans as well at 84, and then Charleston, South Carolina, 80 degrees. So overall across the state, or I should say all across the region of the southeast here, we have those temperatures remaining for the most part pretty uniform across the area, maybe a tad cooler as you make your way to the north and east or so, whereas a bit more cloud coverage across Nashville, Atlanta, Charlotte, Charleston, all sitting around 77, 76 degrees or so. And it's not until you make your way over towards the Texas Gulf Coast area, right where my finger's at, where we have those temperatures rising up into the middle 80s, and then of course into Florida as well. But keeping on with the southeast here, current dew points are a little bit more muggier as you make your way closer to the front, where we have those winds eventually shifting more out of the south. And what it's doing is bringing all that Gulf moisture more out of the southerly direction here in Shreveport, Little Rock, where we have the mugginess a lot higher here. And then in our area, we have more of an easterly wind from the Atlantic, so it's not as moist, but actually tomorrow we'll probably see those winds starting to turn out of the south. And what they'll do is they'll actually help bring us a bit more moisture tomorrow before eventually we have a cold front come through by the middle of next week. Southeastern radar, we have that cold front here across the western portions of the southeast here. A little bit hard to tell, but you can kind of see where these stripes are oriented. That's actually the rain along that front. And what it's doing is bringing a chance for some showers across those drought-ridden areas across Texas over towards Louisiana, Arkansas. But it won't be enough, though, unfortunately. We'll tell more about that here in just a moment. But future radar does show more showers developing along that line here across Arkansas as it eventually, ever so slightly, moves off towards the east or so. Very little in the way of movement, but it might bring some showers and perhaps a thunderstorm or two over towards from Tennessee down through about Louisiana and Texas. Rainfall forecast reflects on that pretty well here with that more higher amount across Arkansas, but look at our area, nothing here for the rest of the southeast, so still remaining very, very dry. Future temperatures does show, for the most part, going down into the 60s to near 59 degrees or so overnight. Tomorrow we eventually rebound into the 80s by tomorrow afternoon, and then tomorrow night, remember I mentioned that warm-up and that moisture incoming. We have a little bit, a tad warmer as you make your way tomorrow night into Sunday morning, and then Sunday also remaining pretty similar as well. Weekend forecast over in Charlotte, 80s across the board here. Atlanta, Georgia also remaining pretty similar to Charleston, South Carolina with 80s. And then over into Huntsville, Alabama, 80s as well. And then, you guessed it, in Louisiana, 80s as well, right, Elizabeth?
Yeah, 80s here in Florida and across the rest of the southeast. Not the case for parts of the rest of the nation. So we do have this orange for the warmer temperatures of what it feels like. Wow, I just went really high on the screen. And then we have this line right here heading across Missouri and Oklahoma, and we have some cooler feels like temperatures. It feels like 40 in Kansas, 44 in Denver, 20 in Rapid City, and 11 in Billings. It is snowing there right now, but in Texas, it feels like 92 in Houston, 83 in San Antonio, 80 in El Paso right now. So we do have some watches and warnings out. So this purple and pinks, these are winter weather advisories and warnings. We do have that flood watch out for the rain that we had talked about in the earlier portions of the show. We do have some fire weather warnings as well because of how dry it is in parts of Northern California. So this is our surface map. We do have this high pressure that is still dominating along the east coast of Florida. That is why it's been so dry and so nice here. But we do have this cold front that is just about right here, which is bringing some rain over like this portion here, which is going to be why we're getting some of that rain in the western part of the southeast. And that will move through our area, but not just yet. We do have high pressure up in the northern plains as well. So here is the future radar. We'll see that rain move up and northeast towards the northeast that way. And we do have some snow also as well heading into Sunday into Denver and parts of New Mexico and parts of Kansas there. And so for the rainfall forecast, we will start to see that rain so we'll start to see the rain early tomorrow morning. Most of it will stay in Texas, and then we head into later Sunday afternoon, where we'll see rainfall probably about 5 to 7 inches in some spots, which is why we have this. So we do have the flood potential for today, which is mainly in the state of Texas as well. But then as we head into tomorrow, as that line of storms moves up, we move north, and as well as you can guess it on Sunday, we actually are able to stretch it out all the way to the Mexico border, all the way up into close to Ohio there. So lots of rain to watch out for there. So for the future, temperatures will stay pretty mild, at least for the southeast and the east coast here. But along that front here, we'll see tomorrow morning temperatures in the teens, and some places we'll see single digits. It'll be 7 in Billings, 28 in Boise, 35 in Seattle for tomorrow. Warming up again along the east coast, upper 70s to mid 80s for the southeast, but again, a chilly tomorrow afternoon for the northern part of the country. It'll be cool, not as cool heading into Sunday morning, but then it's going to warm up again for portions of the country heading into Sunday afternoon. So for New York City, we'll see that rain move through the area as we head into later in the weekend, and we'll be able to cool down as well to 57 on Sunday, 62 on Monday. Minneapolis, pretty chilly as well. No rain to really discuss. A few clouds are possible, but mainly staying in the mid to upper 30s for highs and mid 20s for our lows. We'll see that rain all weekend. We'll see that rain in Dallas all weekend. Nice and dry in Salt Lake City as well as in Los Angeles, and we'll see those highs in the 70s for the rest of the weekend. So let's look at our weekend ahead.
Wow, thank you, Elizabeth. Wow, that 77 degrees in Los Angeles does normally look pretty good. However, we'll actually be cooler here in Tallahassee next week, so look forward to that here as I descend across your screen. So across the airports here, and nationally speaking, we have those airports, for the most part, staying low in terms of delays. So really nice if you're flying out of any of the major airports listed here. Might actually be a different story as we go over the next several days or so, especially in the southern plain near Oklahoma, where we might actually see the chance of some snow and some sleet. So we'll have to fine-tune that forecast there. And if you're flying out of Tallahassee International Airport specifically, right now, 79 degrees with no delays here, and that should remain pretty unlikely throughout most of the night here. So 68 by midnight, 63 by the morning tomorrow morning. Unlikely delays here across Tallahassee, so thank goodness for that. As for if you're traveling tomorrow, we might perhaps see a little bit of some fair weather tomorrow morning here, indicated by the orange. However, for the rest of your drive, you're driving along I-10 or I-90, or not I-90, US Route 90 here, should remain pretty delay-free in terms of weather, and all sitting in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. If you're heading out to the beach tomorrow, instead of watching the Wake Forest game, tomorrow we should be setting those temperatures in the lower 80s near Panama City Beach, with those winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10 under mostly sunny conditions. So actually not a bad day tomorrow for the beach. If you are watching the game, the big game here, number 4, FSU at unranked Wake Forest, we will be rising up into the lower 80s by the afternoon hours here across in North Carolina. And tomorrow afternoon, or say tomorrow night, we should expect those fair weather clouds to kind of come into the scene here. It might obstruct some telescope visions, I guess, if you're looking up into the sky. But overall, it should remain relatively clear. Temperatures down to near 61 degrees under calm winds. And say after you've done your astronomy the night before, you decide to go to church on Sunday morning. Here, we have those temperatures rising up into the upper or into the mid-70s by the time we get into near lunch hour after church, perhaps. Sunday picnic forecast. So for the most part, we should expect really nice, comfortable temperatures. Should remain actually pretty dry, even though it is in the middle 80s or so. It should still be a dry 84 degrees, if that kind of makes sense. So if you're watching some professional football here on Sunday around 1 p.m. or so at Hard Rock Stadium in Florida, down in Miami, we should expect those temperatures to remain in the 80s. However, rainfall, and as the Dolphin here is, of course, alluding to, you need to watch the game because that'll be a good game between the Dolphins and the Patriots here on Sunday. At the end of the weekend, we should expect those temperatures to remain pretty pleasant here as we sit into the 80s across much of Tallahassee, with the football game, of course, being the highlight of at least the weekend here in the 80s or so. But Elizabeth, tell us a bit more about some festivals going on around town.
Yeah, so all that nice weather for the rest of the weekend. There is a lot of stuff to do, at least in and around the city for the Halloween weekend. So we do have the Tallahassee Greek Food Festival, which is running from the 27th to the 28th. So it's still going on. It's going on until 10 o'clock tonight and 10 to 10 tomorrow. That is going to be at the Holy Mother of God Greek Orthodox Church, which is at 1645 Phillips Road. Enjoy all things Greek, including food, music, and dancing. So that is going to be a fun time. Lots of nice food as well. We also have our own FSU Fly High Circus is also going to be there. They're doing their Halloween shows this weekend. So there's one in about an hour or so at 7 p.m. There's also one tomorrow at 7 p.m. as well. That is in the circus complex over by Doak Campbell Stadium, and it's going to be a nice show with a spooky theme that is fun for the whole family. And we also have the Monarch Butterfly Festival, which is incredibly excited. I enjoy butterflies a lot. That is going to be tomorrow from 10 to 2, the 28th, at the St. Mark's National Wildlife Refuge, and you will be there to learn about butterflies and native plants and birds and how they pollinate and do all that kind of stuff. So that is going to be nice, especially for kids that enjoy bugs and things like that. We also have the Thrills and Gills and Spooky Specimens, which is a funny name. I enjoy that a lot. That's going to be also tomorrow, Saturday the 28th from 5 to 8 p.m. That's going to be at the Gulf Specimen Marine Lab, which is in Panacea, Florida. It's at 222 Clark Drive. I enjoy the 222s. So make sure that you dress in your best costume for some, so that is going to be some trick-or-treating through the aquarium, and you'll be learning about some of the cool, spooky specimens that they have, which is interesting. I want to know what they are showing, so maybe I'll go. Who knows? And some fish, it sounds like, as well with the gills part. On Sunday, which this is the one that I'm most excited about because I think this will be really fun. On Sunday at 11 a.m. at Tom Brown Park, it is Dog-a-Ween, and you can come and dress up your dog in a costume for only $10. You get music, food. It'll be a cute time with a whole bunch of cute dogs in cute costumes. It's going to be a good rest of the weekend as you head into Halloween. Make sure that you stay safe, have fun, dress up. It's going to be a good time. I am personally excited about the Dog-a-Ween because I enjoy dogs a lot. Now, it is fall and Halloween, but climate-wise, it might not seem that much, right?
That's right. However, that will change soon here as we go throughout the next several days or so as we have that approaching cold front across the region here. So we'll have to be on tap for that as we kind of make our way through it for the next several days or so. But here you can see across the almanac over the past several days or so, we've actually been relatively closer to average than above average there. Actually, I meant that. 12 days below average versus above 11 days. So the belows are actually winning here, which is awesome here, I think. Of course, normal doesn't matter. Cooler is better, but that's just my personal taste here in terms of climate. But temperature almanac was actually above average, so we actually did add another tally to that above average column, so it might be actually tied. I'm not sure if that's including today or if that's including just yesterday, but regardless, we are above average today. 86 degrees here was our high temperature for today. 59 degrees was the low, so we actually were both in the above average column for both the high and the low, but thankfully nowhere near the record high or low here across Tallahassee. So perhaps you're at the mall or so and you see this directory here on your way shopping. We see for the most part we are at the second summer, okay? Actual fall comes very soon, and we'll have to see if that actually holds true with that next cold front next week or so. So again, just be on the lookout for that. We'll be fine-tuning here, of course, on FSU weather as well. But look behind my shoulder here, we have that approaching cold front, which gets really close here. Now, it's going to be a trick or a treat. Looks like it'll be a trick here because the rest of Florida won't really get much into that rest of that cooler than average temperatures here. The future minimum anomalies are also kind of gets a little bit close here towards the end of your screen off to the right, but then kind of stalls right over North Florida. So unfortunately for those folks in Central and South Florida, not really much in the way of any kind of serious cooling relief over the next several days or so. But Climate Prediction Center does have the cool and average temperatures for the most part over the northwestern Gulf Coast here. It does extend a little bit over towards our area as well, so we'll have to watch, see how that kind of fine-tunes here as we do have that advancing cold front early next week across our area. Now, for the next week after that, we do have, at least we kind of go back into that more normal column. So we have about equal chances of seeing above average or below average temperatures in our area. However, I would say we have to watch this, of course, because if it gets prolonged with that with that actual fall here, as the director did show, ideally we won't be in that warm column anymore, but we'll have to see. So drought monitor, we have that drought over Louisiana and Mississippi. That is going to, at least it will help to subside a bit with the rain, but not very much to at least kind of kick it to the curb, as we'll still have those drought conditions staying really very formidable here across Louisiana. And then over into, at least for 6 to 10-day outlook in terms of rainfall, we are sitting high and dry over those same areas, unfortunately. So we'll have to see if that does change over the next several days or so, or I should say over the next several weeks, as we do have these multiple waves and rounds of cooler air.
Yeah, but before we get to the cooler air, we have a few more days of warm temperatures, and one of these, at least for today, was not an exception. Right now, we're sitting in the lower 80s to upper 70s across the region. It is 82 in Tallahassee, 77 in Quincy, 80 up in Bainbridge, and 79 in Thomasville, 78 in Valdosta right now. And these winds are mainly coming out of the north and east, not terribly heavy, 6 in Tallahassee, 8 in Donaldsonville, and 7 in Bainbridge right now, so nothing that is really relieving us from this warm air. Although our dew points is something that is keeping it at least feeling less hot than it really is, because it's not terribly muggy outside. We have a dew point of 63 here in Tallahassee, 72 in Monticello, 61 in Thomasville, and even we'll have a 54 in Donaldsonville right now. So we are starting to get drier right now, but radar is looking clear. So again, dry with rain, and we are dry with our dew points as well. So the future radar shows those showers moving through overnight. I'm sorry, not showers, clouds moving in overnight and through the rest of the weekend. No rain to really be watching for. Maybe a few showers on the radar there as well, but again, nothing to be concerned about. So for tonight, it's going to be a low of 61 with partly cloudy. Winds will be calm in your Saturday out the door forecast. This is really fun. By 8 a.m. Will be at 62, and we will heat up really fast as we head into the low 80s by the afternoon, hitting 83 by 4 o'clock. And so for our Saturday night forecast, again, low of 61, clear, and winds will be calm, so very nice. And your Sunday patio forecast, at least we're not studying for dynamics right now, thank goodness. But we will be, so we'll be seeing some warmer temperatures as we head into the afternoon again, 85 by 3 and 6 p.m. So for the week ahead, we'll start with our warmer conditions at least until Tuesday, but then we'll see that cold front move through and look. So we'll be able to drop our temperatures into the mid 60s. It'll be 66 on Wednesday, 68 on Thursday, and 72 on Friday. So very nice and dry, and I am very excited for that front. I know that me and Aaron have been talking about how we're excited for the cold weather.
Oh, that's right. I am very excited for that upcoming cold front here. So we'll be celebrating here, of course, on FSU weather next Tuesday, I believe. Is that right? I think it's next Tuesday. We'll be seeing that cold front. It's just in time for Halloween. And actually, it won't be a trick. It'll be a treat for us here. Unfortunately, as you make your way further south into Florida, it won't be so much of a treat, as we'll still kind of stay around average or so, but not, at least it's not oppressive. So that's really good news here. But other than that, that same cold front actually is expected to bring some snow over portions of the Central Plains this weekend. So it actually might cause perhaps some travel delays. Nothing blizzard-like, but it could perhaps impact some travel, especially if you're making your way out of, say, Oklahoma City and upwards over to the north and the east of there. So they actually could see some snow, some winter precipitation. So we'll have to watch kind of how that plays out over the next several days or so. In terms of drought over the southern United States, this front might help a little bit, but it won't, in terms of the overall drought, it won't really make much of a dent, as we're in an excessive drought over many portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, and over in Arkansas and Texas as well. So we'll have to kind of fine-tune that, and hopefully over the next several weeks and perhaps months, it'll kind of subside a little bit. But at least we're not here in a drought. But we will see is make sure you follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU weather. Also, don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU weather. Also, if you're not already watching us live right now, make sure to watch us live every weekday at youtube.com/FSU weather. And also follow us on Instagram at FSU weather as well.
I was on the screen while I was giving you your countdown. That's okay. So future temperatures, at least for tomorrow morning, we see that cold front here head to the region, but we'll see these warmer temperatures in the 80s for the southeast, at least for the rest of Saturday. Mild overnight on Sunday for us, but cooler as you head north and west, and 80s again on Sunday. At least for the week ahead, though, like I was saying before, nice as we head into Wednesday, but then Wednesday is when we'll start to get those cooler temperatures, and we're going to reinforce some of the drier air as well. So very nice on Halloween. May want to bring a jacket, though, as you are out and about celebrating that. But that's it for the rest of the day. Make sure to join us on Monday again. Thanks for watching. I'm student meteorologist Elizabeth Temple. Have a good night.